Hi, I'm Streaky and today I give you my thoughts on Loudness in 2018. So I'm Streaky, I've been mastering for around 25 years. If you are into audio, if you're into finding out how to make your music sound better or just how you're listening to stuff, then please subscribe or like the video. So what am I talking about today? It's Loudness in 2018. So there's a lot going on with music and levels and stuff now because of streaming services. People aren't going to CD as much. They're going to vinyl a little bit, but that's a whole other kettle of fish. So day to day, I'm mastering stuff from small independent guys in their bedrooms making tunes all the way up to big international artists. I'm working with labels every day, so I kind of get a feel of what people want and how loud they want things. Now, obviously everybody's well aware of the loudness wars and everyone slamming everything and Metallica, blah, blah, all smashing the levels. Which, to be totally honest, is okay if that's the sound that you want. Now, when I'm mastering something, people are saying, okay, with streaming services, should it be at -14 LUFS? Should I be able to leave dynamics? MFITs for iTunes are a different level. If I leave dynamics when it's played on, if they're bringing everyone else's music down on these streaming services by, I don't know, like 4 or 5 dB, would I be better off leaving it to have that 4 or 5 dB, have more dynamics? Does that make it louder? Now, yes, that would be the case. That would make it louder because you're allowing the peaks, and so there's more space. When there's more space in a mix, things naturally seem louder. You can also EQ things in a way to make them sound louder without them being as loud, so more of a perceived loudness. Because if you're pushing a track and you're really crushing it, when they bring the level down, it does actually sound quieter than if you leave something with a bit of dynamics. That's what I'm basically saying. But the reality and what happens every single day for me is, and I do a lot of unattended stuff, obviously, so I'm always trying to get a reference mix off somebody, either a reference master that they've done as a mix engineer, or other tracks they're listening to in the genre that they're up against so that I can understand what kind of levels. That's the only issue I have with people. Obviously, I've got EQ and compression and whatever totally covered, but it's just how managing their expectation on how loud they want it to be. And I will tell you that 99% of the time, people still want it super loud. Now, when I say super loud, I'm talking the standard that I do most of the time is -8 RMS. Now, if it's a house or more of an urban-y track, you might be pushing into the up to about -6 RMS. Because that's what people are after. You're obviously trying to keep that open. That's my job, is to get things to sound loud but still keep them dynamic and keep the space and keep the mix sounding the same as the original, but just enhance it but get it to a loud level. And people will go crazy in the comments saying that doesn't matter, blah blah, but I'm just telling you how I master stuff every day for people, and this is what they ask for. If I send them back something where I think, I love this mix, it sounds great and it's really nice with loads of dynamics and I can hear what's going on and this is how I think it should sound best, I send it back, I guarantee they'll be on the email saying, can you make it louder? And that's not because they're listening to it and thinking it sounds nice, they're just listening to other stuff and they just want it that loud. So I hope that changes, because you can get music sounding great. When you listen to some old remasters of stuff made, back in the day or whatever, where they're not worried about level, they're not worried about pushing it, then you can get some lovely sounding stuff. But I think I said in a previous video that sometimes that loudness and sometimes that limited sound is part of the sound of today and is part of the mix. So some people are going to mix at that level anyway, and some people, that sound is part of that sound. I guess, if you're a dance track needs to be tight and it needs to have, be smashed into limiters to a certain respect, because that's part of the vibe. So I don't see it as a problem. I just think that some tracks can be left, but then a lot of the times they don't want them left because they play them against other people's stuff and they've got a volume knob, turn it up, but they won't. They just go, okay, it's in iTunes, I want it at the same level as that, why is yours not as loud? And that's not just amateurs in their bedroom, that is going right to the top of professional A&R men, producers. Everybody wants their track loud. That's always been the way. It's always was the way, even when I was cutting vinyl back years ago, 20 years ago, doing CDs, everybody wants their track louder than the other person's. Now, it doesn't mean that it's right, but it's just the way that it is. So yeah, my levels are -10 is lovely because you've got dynamics and it's still loud. -8 RMS is really loud and you're going to start really crushing into the sound on a lot of mixes. If it's a good mix, then it will still be open and nice. And then -6, if you've got less acoustic instruments, then you can push the level louder to like -6, -7, stuff like that, because there's not as many harmonics within the sound that are going to start hitting against each other and causing the speakers to distort and causing equipment to do all kinds of distortion. So you can push in a bit more when it comes to certain types of electronic dance music, but you know, it's with every track it's different for every single track, but the kind of standards you're going to, -8 is going to give you up to the level of what's going on out there. But it's about getting it to -8 in a nice way so that it's still open and it still has dynamics and feel and movement and all that kind of stuff, because anybody can turn up a limiter so you get it at -8, but it's how you turn it up that matters. So thanks for watching. I hope you've got something out of that. Please subscribe if you like this kind of content. Please let me know what else you'd like me to talk about in the comments, any equipment you'd like me to review, and please like the video. And if you have made it this far, there's a code if you want me to master your music where you get a nice percentage off. So that's in the description too. Thanks for watching. Until next time. Bye.